Roger Evans.
Yeah, thank you, Chair, and I'm grateful to the leader of the Labour group for outlining his group's position this morning. Just to be clear about the position the Assembly finds itself in, to amend standing orders, 2/3 of the Assembly need to be present for that vote. And currently, we do not have 2/3 present, so this item will not be taken to the vote. What we do have present is a sufficient quorum to be able to take Mayor's questions, which I hope that we will be able to do afterwards when we carry on with the business of this Assembly.
They did.
I think I owe the Assembly an explanation. I agree with Len there. I feel somewhat, Madam Chair, like the... Madam Chair, do you want me to pause?
I'm so sorry. The Mayor has just left the chamber.
No, he hasn't. Only for 5 minutes until this item is finished.
I'm quite content for the members to listen to me rather than the Mayor.
I beg your pardon, Roger. Please carry on.
Members. Yeah, I feel a bit like King Caractacus, who was king of the Britons in the time of the Roman invasion. Perhaps the Mayor should have stayed, actually, because he's more of an expert in this than I am. But he was soundly beaten in a Roman invasion by considerably more than 2 votes, which is the extent to which the Progressive Coalition in this Assembly beat my group at the election to 2 members. And he was hauled before the Senate in Rome, and he spoke to them. And he said, you've shown us that you are very adept with the sword, and you've shown us that you can beat us. But if you're going to do that, then if you have nothing else to offer, you will need to sleep with the sword under your bed, and you will need to eat with the sword in your hand, because you are going to need it. And I gave a similar warning to this Assembly 2 years ago when a decision was made by 3 groups to exclude my group from participation in chairing meetings. I absolutely did give that assurance at the time. Now, since that meeting, we've had 42 meetings of this Assembly. Of those 42 meetings, only 16 of them have seen the Progressive Alliance turn out the whole of their 13 members before at the start of that meeting, according to the record. Len says it's not relevant, and he would say that because he has the highest record of non-attendance of the people here. He missed 7 meetings himself. And if you can't be bothered to turn up and defend your majority and protect the situation you put yourself in, you shouldn't be blaming my group for it. We have been incredibly moderate about this. After the 26 meetings that we could have disrupted, we have chosen to end just 5 of them prematurely. We have not disrupted Mayor's questions. We have not disrupted Mayor's questions, which is the business of this Assembly. We have not disrupted plenary questions, which is the business of this Assembly. We have disrupted political motions which have been put forward for advantage by members of the Progressive Alliance, and I make no apology for us using our ability to be able to do that. So we've been extremely moderate, and frankly some members of my group have wanted us to be a good deal tougher with you than we have been so far. Chair, that's the background. I'd like to thank you for attending my group meeting yesterday and putting the case to members. I hope we treated you with courtesy, and I hope we were straight with you about the position that we find ourselves in. I note some threats were made to us, possibly to collapse Mayor's questions. I hope that you won't do that, because that is the real business that we're here for. Possibly to take away our chairs from us. Well, the problem, I suppose, the difficulty is having given us so little, you don't have very much to threaten to take away from us. Possibly to mess around with the amount of time allocated to questions to the Mayor. And there may be other ideas that you can come up with to make our lives difficult. You are clever and ingenious people, but my group are as well. And if you want to go down that road, you've got possibly 2 years of strife and difficulty in the run-up to the next election in 2012. Now, I don't want to come here and make threats. I actually want to make an offer. To the members of this Assembly to actually take a look at the way we can run this organisation better than the way we're running it now, the way that we can all work together. And I'm not talking about taking the Lib Dems into a quiet corner and saying, how can we stitch up the Greens and the Labour Party? What I'm talking about is all of us sitting down together after the conference. We didn't try. All of us sitting down together after the conference season and discussing a better way forward for the Assembly. I would like to see a fairer distribution of committee chairs, something along the lines that Westminster practices. If Westminster can distribute their committee chairs along party lines according to the number of people who were elected, then it's surely not above this organisation's ability to do that. At Westminster, 12 committees are chaired by the Conservatives, 10 are chaired by Labour, and 2 are chaired by the Liberal Democrats. Apparently, being in government is no barrier to the Liberal Democrats scrutinising their own members. I want to just make this point, Chair, and I think it's important that I do, because if we can sit down after the conference and actually write down a protocol for the future...
Sorry, can you draw your remarks to a close now?
Then that will be an agreement which will stand us in good stead till 2012. It could even be an agreement which could work for the next decade and ensure better management of the Assembly than the last decade. Madam Chairman, you told us yesterday you didn't want to preside over a year of strife. As Majority Group Leader, I don't want to preside over a year of strife either. I hope that I've offered you something better than what I have said now, and certainly I would rather be seen as someone who reformed the Assembly and helped it work better, and I know you would, and I hope that members of the other groups will take it away, think about it for 3 weeks, and come back and discuss it with me, because that is the only mature way forward we are going to have.
Thank you very much.